Hey Rolling 20 fans, this is G, and I'm here to tell you today about a new sponsor for our show, Casey's Irish Pub. This is an honest-to-God Boston or Chicago-style Irish pub located in downtown Los Angeles. They serve cooked food, 11 kinds of beer, and 49 different Irish whiskeys from 3 different distilleries. Well, what does that mean? That means if you're looking for a good drink during a Los Angeles convention, you don't have to go far. If you're headed to Los Angeles for E3, Kamikaze, Anime Expo, the Los Angeles Car Show, or one of the hundreds of events happening near the Staples Center, then a good meal and a glass of Guinness is just a short walk away. Jeremy, the loud guy who won't shut up when we do our own podcast, he actually ate there during the last Anime Expo. And he said this. Forgive me if I don't sound like the guy. I went to Casey's Pub looking for a place to bring people for a good night of food and found it when I was driving people on my way back to the Los Angeles Convention Center. We went back and I had the best steak pot pie in my life down there. My wife had a good whiskey to sip, and 8 of us had fun talking and eating in a place that looked like it belonged in a movie. Casey's just a couple of blocks from the Westin Bonaventure. That means it's close to one of Anime Expo's own shuttle stops. We're even hosting a photo shoot there during the 2014 Anime Expo. If you want more details on that, email us at mspfreight@yahoo.com. Hey, so do yourself a favor. And don't stock up on bad beer and try to mix something sitting at the desk of your hotel room. Ride the elevator, get off at the Bonaventure, and walk to Casey's Irish Pub to get some drinks by their bartenders. Make some new memories and have some fun. We want to see you there.
Hello everybody, this is Anthony Bionis from Mission Star Podcast, and we have another edition of the Conover. This week's episode, we're going to talk about BABScon, the pre-game show as it were, and what to expect, what things we're going to check out while we're there. And joining me for this podcast is our video guy, Jace.
What's up, everybody?
And as I said in the previously, a bunch of us are headed to BABScon on next weekend. Next weekend. So we'll be there in full force to cover the event. And for those who don't know, BABScon is a brony convention, or people who enjoy My Little Pony and celebrate it at a convention that talks all about it in terms of, panels, cosplays, artist alleys, whatnot. The same thing that usually is an anime convention, but specifically just for one show. And this is my second time returning, and we're just talking about it. Jace, this is your first time coming to BABScon.
Yeah, and my first BABScon, and actually first kind of single convention that's based off of one thing. So.
Mm-hmm. The thing about it is that when I went last year, I never really experienced what I experienced from last year in other conventions I've been to, because I've been to so many anime conventions, and I've been to, a gaming convention recently, at EVO in Las Vegas last year. But BABScon for me was a very different experience in terms of how everybody interacted with each other and how, the entire day was planned out. So my question is to you, do you have any expectations, or do you have any ideas of what may or may not happen at BABScon?
Well, especially for any convention that I go to that's brand new, I always kind of leave my expectations kind of very open and kind of free form. It's I'm not expecting to get something out of it, but I'm kind of there to kind of tread water and kind of experience what it has to offer. especially, for me, who's someone brand new to that type of convention. Given I've been in the pony fandom for, I don't know, 3 years now?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I kind of want to see what something that's based off of a show that, promotes, friendship is magic.
Right, right.
Hey, plug right there. Hasbro, give me money. Um,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, from what you were telling me is, you're promoting friendship, but the community seems very open and willing to talk. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the furry community as well, because I know a lot of, well, part of the furry community is also brony community, and they kind of intertwine just a little bit. And I know that they're also kind of very welcoming and very like, hey, let's have fun. Let's not, have a lot of drama right now and go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It is definitely the very interesting thing about BABScon. I forgot to mention this. BABScon is being held in San Francisco at the Hyatt Regency, San Francisco Airport Hotel in Birmingham, California. But it's the same place as AOD and YaoiCon. And I
So
don't.
wait, YaoiCon moved to Hyatt Regency?
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically the location of where it's at is basically kind of where everything anime convention or anything convention is related is there apparently. I remember I went there for another event, but it was held in a different hotel. And I actually accidentally went to this one where usually where all the anime conventions are being held. I walked in and because I was supposed to go to a different another hotel nearby for a fighting game tournament, and I end up walking in and it's like there was a Star Trek convention going on. I was like, whoa, uh, this is not a fighting game tournament. But at the same time, I was like, whoa, there's a Star Trek convention going on right now.
Hey, I might want to check this out.
I know, right? I kind of was tempted to do that. Um, but what was it? Yeah, for mostly anything convention wise, like it's in our fandom, it's been the headquarters in that hotel for the past year and a half so far.
Okay, because I remember before YaoiCon moved to LA, it was at the I think it was the Hilton,
Mm.
which was right against the ocean. So I didn't know that it was moving out to the Hyatt because I know it went from it jumped back and forth, I guess, between the Hyatt and the Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it is there now among other conventions, and BabsCon's going to be there. It was there last year as well. Um,
So I guess they now have something to live up to of how they're going to use their space compared to all these other conventions.
yeah, I mean the thing about I think they learned a lot from their first year because BabsCon is a relatively new Brony convention. They are freshly new to at least the Bay Area scene, and they are just kind of getting their legs underneath them and trying to figure it out, like how exactly they want to take this convention into. I mean, obviously they want to make it bigger and make it more populated with people to come and check it out. Um, but a lot of what they've learned from last year, I think, will help them this year.
Yeah, because this is their second year.
Yes, definitely. So hopefully, this year we can see what exactly improvements they made or anything they added or took away from last year's. Um, I will say that it's just it's a bit of a perfect timing for this year because the dates they announce is also happens to be like the same weekend as the season 5 premiere of MLP.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I was reading their site. They are having a premiere viewing party where they are going to be playing the season 5 premiere commercial free, I guess at the same time as they're premiering it, in New York?
I think so. Like usually they air it in the mornings on Saturday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's listed as far as like what dates are airing it on. Oh
So
yeah,
it's going to
that.
be Saturday the 4th at 9 a.m. In their main events hall, and I'm guessing they're also setting up extra rooms, so everyone who wants to watch this can watch it commercial free.
I bet you.
So,
No, here's the funny thing. I bet you because this happened when last year when they had all the voice actors from the main six, plus a few others to come for their big roundup panel. Like, I swear, everybody in that convention that was attending there was in that one room for that one panel. And I won't doubt that it's going to be the same case for this. Like, it's going to be 9 a.m., but there's going to be, like, pretty much 80% of the attendees, like, in that one room to watch the season premiere.
Yeah, it's also good that they're doing overflow rooms as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can only imagine.
It's like when I was talking to a few people about this, I have a projector set up in my house. I'm like, hey, do you want to just come to my house and watch the premiere? And then it's like, oh, well, they're setting up overflow rooms, so I guess I won't have to do that now.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. The question is, at least for me, I mean, like, am I going to get up early in the morning to watch MOP? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of old, so that part we'll have to see. But I'm pretty sure anybody who's going that is gonna watch.
Or
it.
who's already there.
Yeah. Or stayed up anyways all night anyways, and it's like, might as well stay up to watch that, and that can happen too. But yeah, that's cool. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. Oh man. So
Great timing.
yeah, definitely. So the other thing about BABScon that people may not know is that, like other anime conventions we've been to before, it does have a cosplay contest. It does have an artist alley, a theater hall, panels and whatnot. From my experience from last year, it's funny. It seems that majority or a good part of the people who were there, were in a lot of panels, which I particularly like to go to panels just because I'm not only there just to record, but like I enjoy these interesting conversations about these like for some of these people who work in the industry or who are voice acting, and then these questions are either very cringeworthy or like very interesting in terms of how they got into the industry and how do their thing. So the one thing I noticed very much from last year is that everybody likes to go to panels and get just talk to the people who were behind the scenes. So that's the one thing I noticed, and I won't be. I'm pretty much will be the same this time as well. Let's see. So that's the one thing I tell people in terms of if they're going to BABScon this year, is that you'll see a lot of people going to panels. The other thing is that the people there are relatively nice. They're really polite, and I would say that they're even more polite and nice than you would see at anime conventions. Which is funny because
Well, we kind of hope so with a show that's for kids.
Right.
Well, kids in quotation marks.
I know. I mean, like we're grown men, and we're going to a My Little Pony convention.
But given the creators of the show have done a very good job in putting in humor for us older people who watch the show.
Oh yeah, I think that the references they put in the show is great. Like when the first or second season, I can't remember which episode it was, but like having like a pony of like literally from like that was dressed up as one of the characters from the Big BABScon. I was like, that's awesome. I love that. That was sick. But yeah, like the people there are generally nice. Yeah, funny story actually. So on the last day of BABScon, I was there. I was about to get some food. And was gonna eat some food and head out and just kind of relax after a full weekend of work. And I was walking around, and this guy was sitting by himself, and he's like, he asked me, he's like, "You want to join me?" Just out of nowhere. And that guy was like, I look at the guy, and then I'm like, thinking to myself, like, why the hell not? I'm got nothing else to do. I'm gonna order some food. Might as well have some conversation. And I was talking to this guy, and he was really cool. He was really chill, and like we were just talking about stuff. I was asking him about life and just kind of what he's doing like at school, whatnot. I think and this is the cutest thing I've like heard from a guy say this to me, but like so we're talking about our careers, and like I was talking about how I want to go in this direction in terms of art wise, and how I was, at an early age, I always wanted to work in the game industry. I wanted to do something in art. And like he tells me, he's like, "Oh, so you found your cutie mark early on?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, actually I did." I thought, man, I thought that was the cutest thing that anybody had said to me, at least in that fandom. I was like, "Wow, as if I was a girl, man, you would be, man, I would be very, very flattered." But yeah, it's just an example of like how people are at BABScon. So, for anybody who might fear that there might be some creepy weirdos or whatnot, no, everybody's pretty chill. Everybody's really, really friendly. So there's don't
I was
no
like,
no fear.
and if there is the creepy person, you would probably notice them right out of the bat.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, so let me try and think. So there are some events happening at BABScon. Um, Out of curiosity, Jace, any particular ones you see that you want to check out or kind of like what's your game plan in terms of going to Babs?
To be honest, I really did not have a super big game plan planned out for Babs. It was mainly I was gonna head out there Saturday, probably catch the was it broadcast of the season 5, and then kind of go through and see what they had. But let me see, I'm actually going through kind of the schedule really quick. Probably the horror game night sounds really fun. um, but what's it? It's it seems like they have kind of a lot of kind of fun stuff like for gamers like ponies in Minecraft. I might actually check that one out. And what's it? The Pony Cosplay 101 probably. That kind of seems like my Saturday right there, checking those out and then seeing what else they have out.
I see, gotcha. I just came across. Okay, so I was kind of looking at what was being shown in terms of like, what's gonna be there. So it's no secret that for us older people, we like to have fun. And when I mean having fun, I mean hanging out with friends and drinking. That's just kind of what we do. Not all of us, but some do.
Yeah.
Um, so I just came across this on BABScon website. It is the party floor. Apparently, when you register your hotel, you can contact party at babscon.com to request we put your room on the party floor, which means apparently this year they have a party floor where. Hang on, let me go down. Let me read down a bit because I when I think of party,
Okay.
I think of drinking. But like,
No. This actually sounds something similar to what Further Confusion has done. There is a party floor, which is basically kind of open game for people to check out, and I've seen a few conventions do this. It's basically a open floor for people to go to kind of different like room parties. So it's like there's no kind of like noise complaint thing that's gonna happen. You're allowed to have alcohol. But these are like mini parties run by guests. Given if you have alcohol, you're required to check IDs and deal with that stuff yourself, and they will hold you accountable for that. But it's basically a way for people to interact, have fun, and party.
this is awesome. This is sick. I'm like, what? That's
Yeah, this
awesome.
was something that I think I remember was it Further Confusion put in. They basically had a party floor at one of the hotels where basically people had like open door like room parties.
Wow. Because like here's the thing I've always been wondering is that like do bronies party like because like I've always had like I've been curious about it because I've bronies in the MLP community are really nice and they'd be super polite to everybody and like they love the show and the fandom and whatever they do, either be animation or just a fan of the series. I had never picked up like the partying type, and I was curious. A friend of mine told me like they do party, but I was like, oh okay, but I was like wondering like how like how like I don't want to like say like I want to test their limits to how party-esque people are. Like
And
bronies are.
what, like that one weird video that was floating around Facebook and YouTube of that really awkward pony dance or whatever that was going on. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not, but
But no, kind of adding on to that, if you look, there's a lot of for guests. It's not just like your guests of honor, which are like people who are like the voice actors and stuff like that. There's a lot of community guests.
that's true. That's true.
And
yeah.
I followed some of these people on like YouTube and what they've done in their blogs and everything like that. And I'm gonna kind of give a shout out to AC Race Pest about this. They like to kind of BS about, you know, weird stories that happened at some other conventions or on their trip there, and that's kind of like, hey, let's grab a beer and just like talk and, you know, play some awesome music. I know a lot of the community guests are musicians or music creators in the community as well. So it's like you have your DJs, you have people who are willing to provide the alcohol and just go out and have a good time.
Gotcha. Yeah, another thing too I like about the fandom is like the fandom, while the main basis is a show, like it has sprouted to other things related to it. That I feel like the creativity and the just kind of free openness of like what people have done with the fandom is great. I think that having people make these awesome music from MLP or inspired by MLP is great. I like the fact there's like a ton of great animations that people have drawn and shown to everybody. The artwork that people do, the cosplays, like the fandom of MLP interests me, and it also like it astounds me as far as like how they take something as essentially a show for kids, but they make it to where they can do whatever they want to it to some degree before the company comes down on them. It's like, okay, you can't do this or whatnot.
Yeah, like the Fighting is Magic game.
Yeah. Which I did play, and that game is actually pretty hard.
I've played it too, but
yeah. But yeah, that's the one thing I love about the fandom.
I mean, it's like you think about cosplay in like the anime community. Yeah, there's certain things that you can do, like, you know, you do have your crossovers and stuff like that. You do have your fan art, but I feel like the My Little Pony fandom has taken so much of the artistic talents of these people, given it, you know, music, drawing, or even just kind of like the vlogging and video creation. They're creating their own mini series based off of the show. They're creating whole new OC characters from the show. They're making artwork and original songs based off the show, or remixing songs from the show and making kind of this whole other, I guess, like subgenre of My Little Pony.
Definitely. I happened to find the schedule for the event. So, they got, again, I said they got a lot of panels, and it's anywhere between voice actors giving their thoughts on stuff, Q&As. They have what is it? There's some interesting ones. So, out of curiosity, do you know who was it? Dusty. I forgot his full name, but like basically he's a brony, but he's an ex-military guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So him and another brony of his, who was also two ridiculously buff guys, they did a thing last year where they were just doing promos for this hoof wrestling thing they did last year. It was basically an arm wrestle. They had the guy who voices Big Mac come and be the ref for it, and it was really cool. I was there taking footage of it. It's actually up on our YouTube channel. But basically, they played it up like it's WWE style, like arm wrestling, and it was hilarious and awesome. But it was for charity too. And people in between the sets, like they'll have people put in money for which person they want to win. And it was really cool. It was really awesome. So the first thing I see is like they're doing it.
Okay, so it was Dusty Cat, or AKA Manliest Brony. And it was for, I think it was the Wounded Warriors project.
Might be.
Don't quote me. Hang on. I found some information about it, so I was just pulling it up. Yeah, Wounded Warrior Project, and it was done at what was it, Equestria, LA,
Mm-hmm.
2013.
Yeah, it was also done at BABScon last
BABScon.
year.
Okay, so they've done it at a few different places, but yeah, Dusty Cat, aka Manliest Brony.
Yeah, that was good. It was really funny. Let's see. So some of the other things I'm kind of looking through. They're having Ponyville live radio, podcast, and productions, kind of a behind the scenes of how they produce their stuff for the MLP fandom, as well as like having their own radio station as well. It's pretty cool. Other things I'm kind of looking at as well is that some of the animators, the fan animators who are out there who create some of the animations will also be there kind of talking about how they do their stuff. And there's one actually, so, okay, never mind. For a minute there, I thought I read shadow boxing, but it's not. It's shadow box building with the paper pony, so that would be interesting if that was in there. Let's see. So yeah, like there's definitely some interesting panels. They also have they have a video game room, which goes up until, let's see, what do they call it? Up until, I'm kind of going down. Wow, 1:45 in the morning, and then it starts at 10 in the morning. Okay, so the video game room from last year when I was there, it wasn't really much of anything. It was like maybe a couple laptops set up for the MLP online MMO.
Yeah.
That was made. There was they had Smash Melee there.
Okay.
One GameCube setup. And then they had a couple cards, and that was it. There really wasn't much in terms of like compared to other conventions we've been to. But hopefully this year they'll have a better selection, or maybe a bigger lineup of stuff people can play.
Or hopefully they worked with a group or something that actually has the a good setup to bring in.
The other cool thing is they have is tabletop gaming, and this was an interesting thing. So I'm not sure if it's being held in the same place. Ooh, they have Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh, I'm I have to come by for that one. They had a really cool setup for tabletop gaming. So in the second floor of the hotel, they set it up in this kind of in one of the restaurants, and restaurants was kind of styled in a way of like kind of a Western type of deal. And it was really cool. Like everything was kind of wooden, and like I kind of checked it out when I was there. And they were kind of giving like sessions on how you played this MLP card game. And they were kind of getting Q&A, but they were also others were playing games. Not only just MLP stuff, but like other games as well, like Connect 4 and other tabletop games. And it was the location of it's really cool. It's really awesome, but I hope it's in the same place because like the setting for it's pretty cool. Like I think this is called, let's see, I believe it's called like Trixie's something. Trixie's Tables. So yeah, it's in the same place as before. Cool. They also have a tournament room. Interesting. I'm just kind of looking at the map right now. They have a cosplay / fursuit lounge now in the second floor.
I feel like they're taking hints from a lot of the fur conventions as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of improvement from last year right now. Yeah. So okay. Yes. Yeah, so I'm looking at the map right now, seeing where it's going to be at. So definitely they are expanding, using more of the space in the convention, as I see here in the map. And I'll post this link in the show notes as well for people to check out. But yeah, this looks already pretty promising already. But yeah, so just a kind of few examples of what tabletop gaming they're gonna be doing. Dungeons and Dragons DDX 1 through 5 and 1 through 11 Part 2. Those got Part 1. They got Pony Finder RPG. They have Pathfinder Society. Let's see what else can I find in here. Making TSSFF cards. Must be to MLP card game. And they got a they have a MLP CCG sealed tournament hosted by Comics Collector Shop. That's cool, awesome. So they got some really cool stuff happening in the tabletop gaming area. That's pretty awesome.
That is more stuff for me to do.
I know, right? Because the thing, my only complaint from last year was that there wasn't much to do when I was there.
And especially, okay, for cons in that area, there's not a lot around it. So it's either you have to keep your guests fully entertained, or they're just going to leave the con and go elsewhere.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, it's I like the improvement. I really do. So hopefully, yeah, I'm more excited now than I was before. So yay. I just look at the autographs in terms of people that are going to be taking autographs. Let's see, because they're going to be there all weekend. It looks like Friday, Saturday, they're going to be actually, and Sunday too, actually. And the special guests are going to be there. And I'll go from left to right in terms of what I have.
So
autographs.
why don't we talk somewhat about the guests of honor, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so
of course we're gonna have Tara Strong.
yes.
That's like kind of a given for every MLP convention. It is Tara Strong.
Yeah, of course. You know, I like her more for her other stuff other than MLP, like Harley Quinn, from the Batman series, and
yeah.
She was also Raven in
Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I like how, okay, so I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Teen Titans Go. I honestly think some of the comedy in it is hilarious if you think of it as a completely different show than Teen Titans, because, of course, it's never going to live up to that. But I like how they pick on Raven now in Teen Titans Go about ponies. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's hilarious.
They have their own like pony show in Teen Titans, and Raven is like in love with this, and I think, what is it, Beast Boy and Cyborg and Robin all pick on her for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hilarious, but it's awesome too. I remember there was an episode where they actually go into the television show.
Yep. and she's like, no, you have to be nice about it. And then everyone else is like, no, we're just gonna fight.
Yeah, we're just gonna fuck shit up right now.
It's PG.
Yeah, that was great. That was an awesome episode. But yeah, definitely she's gonna be there. So is Andrea Libman. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly, but the voice actor of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy is going to be there as well. Kathy Wiesluck. Yeah. The voice actor of...
I am sorry to everyone who is a bigger brony than I am, and we can't pronounce the voice actors' names correctly.
Right. It's one of those cases like during graduation, as like when the teacher or the principal is calling up the names and they mispronounce it, and it's like, you can't do much about it. You can only do what you can do, and just kind of, you know, try the best to try to pronounce it the best you can. So.
It's like, Evan, we're doing it live.
Yeah. I'm notoriously bad for pronouncing some names and whatnot. So, but the voice actor of Spike, and Mare is going to be there. Peter New, the voice actor of Big Mac, as I said prior, is going to be there. He's pretty cool dude. I've talked to him a few times.
Yeah. But he's also just not a voice actor. He's actually an actor in general. So
yeah, definitely. Rebecca. Oh man, I cannot pronounce her last name.
Let's just say Rebecca.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try. She's gonna be there. She's the voice actor of Sunset Shimmer from the MLP Equestria Girls and Rainbow Rocks, the movies that they did. Also, she did some other anime stuff too. Oh wait a minute, hang on. It might seem...
Yeah. Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, Inuyasha, Nana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's that.
And she's also the singing voice for Twilight, so...
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if many of you don't know, the singing voices are different voice actors.
They sound similar, but they're not the same person. I hope this isn't blowing anybody's minds after just hearing this.
We have 2 voice actors for every character. Okay.
hmm That's true, yeah. Claire Corlett is another voice actor that's
Cutie Mark Crusaders.
pretty much. She is the voice actor of Sweetie Belle. And yeah, she is coming to attend as well. And here, okay, out of all the voice actors I saw listed on here, 2 of these I knew, like I know they had a part in MLP series at one point or another, but like I did not realize the fact what else they did until I realized, like, oh, wait, Goku and Vegeta are coming to BABScon. What?
Yeah.
It was funny how those it was funny how those people are coming. So like so for those who don't know, Ian James Corlett is coming, and he is he was the voice actor for Goku in Dragon Ball Z. But he was also voiced in the Pim and Flam's assistant Silver Shield in the MLP episode Leap of Faith. And he did some other voice acting jobs as well, including Mega Man, including he was also Cheetor from Beast Wars. So when I saw it, I was like, holy my childhood, holy crap.
I feel like they're here more for their other voice acting credits than just My Little Pony.
I know, right?
Because a lot of they both did a lot of secondary character voices. Like Brian, so he was Vegeta, but he's done way more stuff elsewhere than My Little Pony, given he was a lot of the background characters like Mr. Cake, Dr. Hooves, Sheriff Silver Star, and Daring Deuce Arch Nemesis. I'm kind of reading off of their list. But he's more notable for everything else. So I feel like these are just 2 voice actors that they're getting maybe to get some of the other anime people into the con.
Maybe.
Wink, wink.
I know, I was thinking too, maybe it might be another case as well. It was funny last year when I didn't know this, so I know I was there at the panel for the voice actors round table panel last year, and when he introduced, when they introduced Brian, like I was like, okay, because it's like, okay, I had no idea who this guy was at first until he introduced himself. Like, I'm Brian Diamond. I voice acted in the episode MLP where he was Starbreeze, or the little insect thing. In one of the episodes, but it was like, but I also voice act, Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, what? I was surprised. Like, no one told me this, and why? How? I was flipping my shit, and like people were looking at me weird, which is weird because I'm at a Brony convention, and it's like, oh, huh. So yeah, like I was so surprised, and I was like, oh man. It even came out. And like, it was like, over 9,000. I was like, yeah. Oh man, it was cool. I was like, wow. So, yeah, those guys are awesome. And her daughter, who plays Babs, is coming as well. From the series. And
Papsy.
yes.
Okay, that song is always gonna be stuck in my head.
Right, for sure. I'm kind of going down the list as well. So we got, I can't even, Marike? Yeah, there is a very interesting name. But she's gonna be there. She's a well-rounded voice actor and talent. And even she has other stuff as well. Like she did some stuff in Black Lagoon. Was it MLP?
Generation 3.
Yeah. So yeah, like. And after that, some of the other people from like the actual studios who worked on the series, like Daniel Ingram, Stephen Andrews,
who like fully make the show because the music really kind of puts all of this together. I feel like the show's music is kind of what kind of unites the community in a way as well.
Oh, I think so too, definitely. And then further down, it shows off some other different guests that are coming as well. They even got some of the comic book artists to come who work on the comic book series for MLP to come as well, which is really cool because I really dig the art style. I like the edgy look they have to them. as well as the colorist and also the guy who also creates the fiction for the comic series, Bobby Curnow. So yeah, like
Yeah.
and again, musicians as well, and others and our guests are coming. So it's a pretty stacked lineup of guests. And I was kind of surprised to say last year they also had a pretty good stacked lineup of guests as well.
Yeah, and given that is just the guests of honor, this is not the community guests. When you get into the community guests, that list is even longer.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So I will say this because this is the second year they're doing this. They're starting off their first 2 years on one hell of a note in terms of like having a lot of these special guests that are pretty big in the MLP fandom, as well as the show.
I feel like this is going to be one of those events that I'm going to go there and feel like, oh my gosh, there is so much that I want to do, but I don't have enough time to do it.
Right. I hope that's the case for me too, because last year, like I said, there wasn't much for me to do when I was there. So this time that there is definitely what I've seen so far, a lot more things to do. I will say though, good. Whoever made the date for this year's BABScon was pretty smart because last year it was the same weekend as a bunch of other events were happening that same weekend. It was the parade in San Francisco that's happening for cosplayers at that same weekend.
Oh, Cherry Blossom.
Yeah, Cherry Blossom. There was also Anime Boston is happening at that same weekend as well, or it might be in SacraCon, I think it was. And then there was like some other event happening that same weekend. It was NCR. Yeah, it was that same weekend. So there was a bunch of events happening in that weekend. It was great for us or anybody else who was generally just a nerd in general. It's like yeah. At any point, anything you can do in that weekend that you want to go check out, you can. But it was going against a bunch of other events, which I think kind of hurt it. But whoever did the schedule for this year put it at a different date. Away from everything else, and I don't think there's anything going on April 3rd. Actually, the only thing I can think of right now, which is funny, is NCR. So like, yeah, NCR is happening the same weekend as this. But aside from that, though, nothing else I can think of in terms of what's happening on next weekend. Everything else is set in stone in terms of like what is happening for Anime Boston or any other convention going on at that time. Especially with Cherry Blossom, this is going to be a different time. Or it might be the same date as this time. But anyways, yeah, it's looking really good. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna check out a few things. If anything, for me, because like I talked about this with Jesse last year. I couldn't quite after he and I talked about it on the podcast. I couldn't quite have a good judgment or a good opinion about BABScon because I never had experienced anything like it before. And like normally I would say like I would like put a grade on it, or I would like say something like this convention was like 8 out of 10 for me, or like it was a B or C.
But this is it's like specifically a one kind of fandom convention, so you don't have a lot to compare it with.
Yeah, definitely. The only comparison I could have is like anime conventions and a few other conventions, gaming conventions I've been to. So for me, it was very different. And I said on the podcast last year, I really needed to go to next year to really form a real opinion, or if anything, to kind of judge on its merits about BABScon. That, and I feel like if I wanted to get the full frontal brownie convention experience, I feel like I need to go to one of the big ones out there.
Yeah, I think when I go, I'm gonna kind of compare this to say Further Confusion or was it Biggest Little Fur Con out in Reno or something like that, because it kind of feels like the bronies do have a lot of mix in with the furry community, so that's probably going to be the kind of judging factor for this.
Right, definitely. It's gonna be interesting. And you have more of a familiarity because you went to that furry convention. And as you said, it has some crossover with the MLP fandom in terms how they will both interact with each other. it's gonna be interesting to see how everybody's reaction going to be, because like I know you and I are going, Jesse's going, Ramen is a 50-50. He may or may not go, but there's be a good number of us are going to be there. I mean, I'm very interested to see how everybody else takes, because I know it was funny. Last year I was there. I didn't really realize it, but like a few of my friends that were there didn't know I was there either. Like Ramen, I was like, wait, why are you here? He's just like, oh, I'm a brony. He's like, oh, cool. I did not know that. Awesome. So yeah, like I'm interested because hopefully this will give me a better opinion, get a better like in terms of like of what I actually think of BABScon, and really kind of give like a grade or whatnot than I did last year. So again, this is their second year. It's still a relatively pretty young con.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, other than that though, we have to wait and see, and we'll find out soon enough. So,
7 more days.
yeah, a lot to happen. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of events to check out. So we're definitely gonna be there for sure. So yeah, I think it's gonna do it for us for this pregame, this kind of the calm before the storm.
Yeah, and if anyone runs into me on the 5th, that's my birthday, I'll probably have little things to give out to people who can find me, so
Awesome.
try and find me if you can. Wahahaha.
Well, they gotta have to go. They need something to go off of because they've never met you or hear your voice.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so if you go on Facebook, I just recently rebranded. Most of you know me as Rave to the J Photography. You can now look at JGP Media. My pictures are there. Mainly look with the guy with the fedora who's carrying a shit ton of camera gear.
Yeah, definitely. It was since we're on topic. Where else can I find you on the internet?
Well, you have Facebook, which facebook.com/rave to the J. Also on Twitter, either Rave to the Jace or Rave to the J Photo. And I think that's all that I have right now. My Instagram is kind of dying, so I'm running other things at this point, so that's not a high priority.
Right. I hear you. Awesome. Okay. So you can follow me on Twitter at Defective Naruto. You can follow the work that Jason and I do on our website at missionstartpodcast.com. This podcast will be up on our website, as well as the show notes, links to BABScon, and other stuff that we'll be working on. Is a bunch of other stuff and conventions coming up. WonderCon is going to be covered pretty soon by our own Jeremy. We got Fanime coming up pretty soon. Comic-Con is a green light. We're going to be there covering that as well. As well as Anime Expo and other conventions. So there's definitely stuff we're going to be covering. And we'll be there at BABScon. This time, though, there will be no stream. Just because, like, I'll keep it under wraps, but we have found something that would help us instead of streaming off the phone, which, you know, is cool and all, but we have found something that's actually pretty useful. But aside from that, we'll definitely upload the footage as soon as we can, either from the hotel or after the convention is over, on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/missionstartpodcast1, or check it out on our website and our convention videos page. So keep a lookout for that. But that's gonna do it for us. So we'll see you guys next time.